Let's cut it short. Prince of Persia The Lost Crown is one of the best Metroidvanias I've ever played. All the other Metroidvanias coming out in 2024 will have a hard time competing with this title. Let's talk about the reasons why. The story is set in a fictional version of Persia, full of fantastical creatures, deadly traps, and all kinds of other magical stuff. You play as Sargon, one of the 7 immortals, and your task is to rescue the kidnapped Prince Hassan. Of course, it wouldn't be a Metroidvania if it didn't have access to a wide range of abilities. This is easily one of the best parts of this game, since most abilities you obtain are movement based, like the air dash or the ability to create a clone, which you can then teleport back to. Giving Sargon so many abilities that expand his movement was a brilliant decision. The reason for that is that basically every ability is utilized in exploration and combat as well. That way every ability essentially has 2 purposes, and I think this is just great game design, since you use the abilities more frequently, which is just way more fun. Also, there's a good number of optional platforming challenges that usually require you to make heavy use of one ability. While these are fairly easy for the most part, they're designed creatively, varied, therefore super fun, and mostly quite rewarding. Exploration itself is both revolutionary and a little bit lackluster at the same time. While you will find a lot of secret paths, broken walls and hidden treasures, you're rewarded with only the currency a bit too often. But that's not to say you don't find other stuff. There are amulets that provide different advantages in combat, amulet slots that increase the maximum capacity for your amulets, and pieces to increase your maximum health. I just wish that sometimes, instead of being rewarded with currency, there would have been some more useful stuff, like an upgrade for the health potion. Instead, increasing the healing potency or the maximum amount of potions is done by buying them at a vendor. That just feels like an unnecessary detour. The currency would have been useful enough though, because you can buy more amulets, upgrade them, and even enhance the power of your weapons. Still, like I said before, I think exploration is also kind of revolutionary at the same time. There are 2 reasons for that. One is the awesome photo feature that allows you to take a photo that is automatically added to the map. That way you can easily remember places you weren't able to progress or get a treasure you saw, and come back once you have the right ability. I'm such a big fan of that feature that I know I'll miss it the next time I play Metroidvania. I really hope more Metroidvanias will have a version of that in the future. The other kind of revolutionary part of exploration is the option to show some elements on the map that help you traverse the world, like an icon that indicates if you have the required ability to pass. I actually turned that option on since my memory is kinda bad sometimes, and it really made progressing the game way more satisfying. Well, if you don't want that, you can of course turn that option off and have a more traditional Metroidvania experience. Speaking of options, Prince of Persia The Lost Crown does an absolutely fantastic job in making the game fun for as many people as possible, because there are detailed difficult settings you can customize at your will. You want to have high damage and a more generous parry window? Sure, go for it. Or low environmental damage and a nice dodge window? Everything is possible. I love it when a game does that, since it's so much more approachable without losing the players that seek the greatest of challenges. Especially the settings for combat can really help get some people through some fights. The combat in this game is simply an absolute joy. Sargon is equipped with 2 swords and you get a bow early on. With that you can perform a variety of different combos. Launch enemies in the air, follow them mid-air with your dash, knock them into the ground, push them back with a charge attack, get behind them with a precise slide, and so much more. It almost feels like a 2D Devil May Cry without overwhelming the player with complicated inputs or too much to remember when it comes to controls. I'd say it's easy to learn and pretty satisfying to master. But wait, there's more than just sword and bow combos. There are also special attacks called Athra Surges that can make the difference between victory and defeat. Your standard attacks fill up a gauge that can be spent for a level 1, 2 or 3 Athra Surge. These attacks not only are super well animated, but also pretty powerful. I won't tell you how you get more of these for spoiler reasons, but I recommend you really explore the world since you wouldn't want to miss any of the Athra Surges. But yeah, back to the combat itself. Overall, the mix of weapon combos, Athra Surges and using Sargon's movement abilities create one of the most satisfying and fun combat systems I've seen in a Metroidvania. And since enemies and bosses are pretty varied, combat never gets boring because you always have to adapt and think of the best strategy to overcome your foes. Yeah, chef's kiss for the combat system. Prince of Persia The Lost Crown really surprised me. To be honest, I didn't expect a Ubisoft game to be this well made. The exploration is approachable and satisfying, the abilities have a dual purpose and are super fun to use, and combat is fast-paced, slick and extremely enjoyable. Prince of Persia The Lost Crown is the complete package, and easily one of the best Metroidvanias I've ever played. I hope this isn't the last Prince of Persia Metroidvania, but for now I'm really happy with what we've got. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed this review, and tell me in the comments if you enjoyed Prince of Persia The Lost Crown. Alright, have a great day and I'll see you in the next video.